Firstly, thank you to those 99% that showed support. It really is helping. For those others that blamed me, well, I have no doubt that you have your own issues to deal with. And good luck with that. This is a long post, as once I started to type I could stop. It felt good to get it down in print, so to speak, and was a little cathartic. This will be my last update for a while. And for those interested in what happens, I will post in a few months' time to let you know how things are going. I had the talk with my wife yesterday. After so many years together, we both find that we don't sleep very well without the other beside us. It's been like for decades. Well, last night was the first night that I had a very good night's sleep without her there. She came around home and walked through the door. She looked terrible, lack of sleep, guilty, scared, and red-eyed. Normally my heart would break, and I would make her feel better. But not this time. I was sitting at the table, and she started to cry again and rushed in for hug, blubbering she fucked up and is so sorry, etc. I put my hand up and told her not to touch me and sit down. She sat down. I asked if she wanted a coffee, as I was going to make one, and she accepted. So I made the coffee and went back to the table. Her eyes never left me. She started to speak, but I told her to be quiet and answer my questions and listen. This isn't about her but me and the marriage. I told her at this point we were done. She had made her choice. And this is about making mine. I had already made my choice, but I wanted to get some semblance of truth out of her. And I thought if she thought she had a chance, she would at least be a little honest. I told her I have spoken with her sister, which was true, and I had spoken with the couple, which wasn't true, but she didn't know that. I had the strangest feelings inside of me, happy that she was so upset but sad for us at the same time, along with disappointment, anger, and all the normal emotions you would have. But I was calm, and this freaked her out the most. Honestly, I felt I was doing a job interview. I asked her how many times. She said physically once and twice on video chat. I told her to explain how it happened. She told me that when they were talking business, it turned to flirting. Then when the wife said it was okay and got involved, over a couple of months it moved on to watching them have sex. She told them that it has always been a fantasy of hers to have sex while the wife watched, and they were all for it. She was crying when she told me this and said it went too far. She knew it was dangerous, which made it more exciting for her. She started to tell me that she felt insecure, but before she could continue, I told her I don't want to hear her bullshit excuses and justifications. I had to wait about 5 minutes until she could pull herself together. I even got up and got her tissues. She said they met up as arranged, and after her sisters had left the bar, they went straight to the couple's room. I asked her if she ever intended to tell me, and she said no. It was just a fantasy that she thought she could fulfill and never think about cheating again. I called bullshit and asked if she had cheated over the last 33 years. She said never. I told her that now it didn't matter how many times she cheated, either once or 1,000 times, the result would still be the same. The only one it will hurt if she is lying is our kids and her relationship with them and our grandkids. I told her I don't believe her, but at this point it's irrelevant. At this, she started to realize I had no intention of working through her infidelity. She begged me to work on our marriage. She would do anything. I could do anything. She would let me have affairs if I stayed. She promised she would never cheat again. I told her to listen to what she was saying. She has degraded herself enough. I would never cheat in a marriage, and if I did sleep with another woman, it would mean we were separated with no chance of reconciliation. This is the last thing on my mind. She reached over to try and grab my hand, but I told her that I will never touch her again. It's not that I am judgmental of anyone's lifestyle. It's their own business, and I understand people do have affairs, open marriages, etc. But the point is, we didn't. The trust and respect were destroyed when she planned to have another man's dick inside her. I have always been a pragmatic man, and I just felt relief. I told her we will make this as easy on us as we can. She took this as hope for our relationship. But I told her no. We are done. I will never touch you again, and I meant it. I could never forget that she fucked another man, and the woman I loved and married is now dead to me. She died when you not only fucked another man but planned for it. All the good memories we have will remain. The holidays, building our first home together, having and bringing up our children, all the laughs and life we faced together are just that, memories. We are now going to have separate lives, and I for one am looking forward to see what happens, and they will not include you. When I do meet another woman, I hope to start new memories with her and hope that I do find love again. She was shaking and crying when I told her this, but it didn't faze me. I just wanted this woman out of my house. She couldn't continue with the talk, so I went down to shed and reached out to my kids by phone while she composed herself. I told them what was happening, and they were very supportive and said to not drag it on and just finish it. I went back up, and as soon as I walked through the door she started again with the sorry and we can make this work. I sat down and said we are going to sell the house and business and split everything 50/50. You can have the car and I will take the truck and my motorcycle. She can take the cats. I then told her not to ring me, text me or contact me in any way unless it's about the kids or grandkids. I will contact the lawyers and start the ball rolling for the divorce, and she is free to go fuck anyone she wants as she is now a free woman. She told me that she didn't want to fuck anyone else and I was being deliberately mean and unemotionally. I told her that I was being honest and her actions had put me in an emotional void. I told her that she is the only one to blame for the destruction of a marriage and no one else. I loved her unconditionally, and she is the one who fucked it up. I then left the house so she could sort herself out and take a few more things with her, and went over to my daughter's. I stayed there for a few hours talking with her, and played with my granddaughter. When I got home she had left, and as I said, I had the best night's sleep without her I have ever had. Now to see what happens over the next 6 months or so. Latest update. Thank you to all the messages and responses. It has helped me maintain my focus. Well, it's been 5 hectic weeks since the STBXW threw away our marriage. I have had a lot of time to reflect on my decision, and I still believe I have made the right one. I could never trust her again. I could never touch her again. Seriously, it makes me sick to even think about it. It was her decision to cheat and destroy our marriage for no other reason than she thought she could get away with it. She is still staying with her mother, and I had been getting the house ready for sale. We had been in this house for 20 years, so a lot of shit needed to be done and cleared out. But I did it and we put it on the market. There are a couple of eager buyers, so I am hopeful it will be sold in the next week or two. The business has already been sold. Thankfully, one of our clients wanted to expand, and I accepted the offer last week. Settlement will take place in about a month. You always hear about divorce, but it is already a pain in the ass. Where I live, you have to be separated for 12 months and 1 day before you can file for divorce. Then it takes 4 months before it goes through, and that's only if it's uncontested. Property settlement is a separate issue and is not done until the divorce is finalized. I don't plan on having anything left of our joint possessions left to settle. And as long as she continues to sign the sales contracts, it will make my life a lot easier to move on. Her way of thinking is different though. My son has only spoken to her once, and apparently it was not a nice phone call. To be clear, my children are grown adults with children of their own. I told him it will take time, but she is still his mother and she was a good one. Don't let her decision destroy a relationship with her. My daughter, on the other hand, has been talking to her throughout. She is ashamed of what her mother did but has been supporting her through the breakup. My daughter is a very honest person who tells it like it is and is giving her mother the warts and all repercussions of what she did. My STBXW, however, is deluded enough to think that I will get over it and forgive her. She thinks that all the years we have been together will be enough to make me change my mind. When she came over to sign the real estate contract and told me that I will change my mind, that I still love her and she will be a better wife when I do, and we will still grow old together and have a wonderful life with this as a speed bump in our marriage that we will both get over. I was gobsmacked. I just looked at her and said she was fucking nuts to think any of that. She lied and cheated in the worst way. She had another man's dick inside her. She sucked another man's dick while his own wife watched. How the hell would I even want to touch her again? She said she knew she shouldn't have gone through with it. She didn't know what she was thinking. It wasn't even that good. I told her to shut up, that I didn't want to hear if she enjoyed it or not. The point is she fucking did it. I told her that we have zero hope of reconciliation. I want nothing to do with her, and I am looking forward to getting on with my life without her. I think she is in massive denial about what is happening, and she no longer has any control over my actions, or is entitled to. Her scheming and cheating undid a loving marriage. Her actions is why this is happening. She knew this before she did what she did, so she can't be so naive to think it's not happening, because it is. The funny thing is that I am getting a fair amount of attention from other women now. I am certainly not interested in having anything to do with women at this time, but it's nice to know that when I do, I will have plenty of options. The STBXW even got angry that women we know have been over to visit and bring me dinner. Just to talk, of course. She told me she wants me to get it out of my system and she will be waiting. I mean, seriously, how fucked up is she? The only thing I want out of my system is her. Emotions are still a major factor. Hate, anger, disgust, the feeling of loss, betrayal and sadness, but I am a strong man and I will deal with them. My goal now is to focus on getting rid of any financial entanglement with my wife and get on with my life. Story 2. It has been nearly 2 weeks since I realized what was going on, and I have another reason to hate both of them now, that they live rent-free in my head. My family has been great. My girlfriends call and make up silly stories and feed me gossip to keep my head occupied, and I love them for it. but I cannot get Brad and Andrea out of my head. Apparently, they enjoyed a long weekend in Tahoe, and now the apartment where Brad and I lived has been put on the market, which means he has possibly moved in with her. A couple of the girls who came home the other day work with these two, and I understand that their entire workplace now knows. Andrea was even sent a nasty email that made her leave early one day in tears. I have been doing a lot of thinking, and a lot of talking with people I love. It has not been easy to arrive at this decision, but I have decided to leave them alone. I was determined to do one thing, to report what they did to their employer. And the other thing I was on the fence about was to involve law enforcement, or lawyers, and press assault charges on both of them. I have now decided to do neither. A lot of you were insistent that I should make them pay for what they did, but I have decided not to. As for why, I do not think they are worth another second of my time. My time is precious, and I will not waste it on these two vermin. They will pay for what they have done, and I will be around to watch. At the very least, I will hear of it. As always, I am thankful for your love and support. I hope you will support me with this decision too. If you do not wish to, I understand. I begin therapy next week, so please wish me luck. And I will give y'all an update when something noteworthy happens. A bit of a summary here. I am Megan, F28. Brad M31 was my ex-fiancé who cheated with Andrea F27, who used to be my best friend since we both were like 12 years old. She is now pregnant, and their wedding date has been fixed. It is about 2 months away. I moved from San Francisco back to my parents' place in a small town in the South, and I am attending therapy while working from home. Andrea's family lives less than a mile away from my parents' home, and they have known us since Adam. Brad is from SoCal, born and raised. Admittedly, this is a super short summary. So many things have been said, but that paragraph above captures it adequately, I guess. Please read my previous posts if you'd like the dirty details. Both their families had informed me that they would not attend the wedding and that these two people were now dead to them. I made it clear to both families, do not miss the wedding on my account. If you feel like attending it, please do. I never told them, directly or otherwise, to miss the wedding. It was a decision that they themselves made. I always thought that though they promised me they would not attend, they would eventually come around because of the baby. After all, nothing tugs on the heartstrings better. And while I would have been initially unhappy that they eventually did attend, I knew I would understand in time. Everything was going well, till this happened. The alternative was that they would not attend the wedding, but a few months down the road they would reconcile as the baby would be born by then. I was okay with that too. After all, I do not control these folks. Brad and Andrea tried to reach out to me last week in a desperate flurry of texts and calls from different numbers. By my reckoning, at least 6 different numbers were used. I began blocking them as soon as I knew it was them. But they did get a message across to Andrea's family, who then forwarded the message to me. In it, they called me selfish and vengeful, and that my selfish acts were preventing their families from attending their dream wedding. I was being immature and idiotic and had no right to destroy their special day. They said I was responsible for their families not attending the wedding. Not true. In fact, listen to this, y'all. If I attended their wedding and convinced both families to attend as well, and if they ever had a daughter in the future, they would name her after me. They are expecting a son now. My blood boiled when I read all of that. And now I know what has to be done. I will do everything in my power to ensure that both families do not attend. These 2 insects will be alone that day. They might be able to beg some people to attend and bribe them with catered food, but they will be utterly alone and unwanted by both families. So, yeah, tell me I am an evil person. I might just enjoy it.